The Dallas Cowboys are doing the unthinkable, so we're going to be going through that in today's video and 5 other stories, so make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. But let's get straight into the first story, because the unthinkable is that 2 Cowboys players have surprised this season the whole NFL. So the Dallas Cowboys had a very good season heading into week 18 with a record of 12-4. The Cowboys will be fighting for the NFC East crown in the final week of their regular season. One reason for that success this year has been the depth of their roster. Due to vast amount of injuries, the Cowboys have asked for many young players to step up into key roles. Those same players will be counted on as Dallas heads into the playoffs. The first player being DaRon Bland. In the 5th round of 2022 NFL draft, the Cowboys took a cornerback from Fresno State named DaRon Bland. After not playing much of a role in the year, the rookie has been awesome for Dallas over the second half of the season. Bland stepped into a starting role after a few injuries to players in front of him, and since week 13 there have not been many better cornerbacks in football. During this season, Bland has 5 interceptions and 7 passes defended, and he has been much needed bright spot for a depleted Cowboys secondary. Another secondary player that has been very good for Dallas is Donovan Wilson. Wilson has started every game this season and has been dominant against the run. The 27-year-old leads the Cowboys in tackles this season with 97 and 5.0 sacks. For a team that has struggled against the run most of the year, Wilson has done his part. He's comfortable playing around the line of scrimmage and taking on bigger, stronger offensive linemen. Wilson has played at a Pro Bowl caliber level this year despite not being named to the team. Dallas will need him to continue to play a large role in the run game as they enter into the playoffs. So the Dallas Cowboys are really doing something that we have never seen before, and definitely doing the unthinkable, especially with the roster that they have built. The second story in today's video is Dallas Cowboys hopes still alive for the NFC East title and the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. The once seemingly improbable dream remains alive for the Dallas Cowboys. Once 3 games behind the Philadelphia Eagles, who were 13-3 in the race for the NFC East title, the Cowboys 12-4 are now just 1 game back heading into the final week of the season. The Eagles dropped their second straight game in a 20-10 setback to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday. It gave the Cowboys, who followed a 40-34 victory against the Eagles last Sunday with a 27-13 victory against the Tennessee Titans on Thursday, a chance to play for the NFC East title in the season final against the Washington Commanders. A win coupled with an Eagles loss to the New York Giants would give the Cowboys a division title for the second straight season. The Cowboys also still in the race for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They need to win the division title and hope for a loss by the San Francisco 49ers and Minnesota Vikings in one of their final 2 games. The only caveat is that the Giants will head into the game with little motivation, as they are locked into the 6th seed in the playoffs, win or lose. The Cowboys, who have already clinched the 5th seed in the playoffs, will play a Washington team that has also had nothing to play after being eliminated from the postseason on Sunday. If the Cowboys don't win the division title, they have a date set to face play at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC wildcard playoffs. Tampa Bay beat Carolina and clinched NFC South title on Sunday, becoming the 4th seed. So it is looking pretty good for the Dallas Cowboys, but they do have to finish off the game very strong, especially against Washington. Now, getting into the third story, Dallas Cowboys learned Dalton Schultz isn't replaceable just quite yet. When the Dallas Cowboys franchise tagged Dalton Schultz into the offseason, many fans in Cowboys Nation voiced their displeasure. While Schultz statistically ranked in the NFL's upper tier this season prior, many reviewed him as a product of the system and therefore a replaceable part. It's possible the Cowboys felt similarly, since a long-term agreement could be made, and according to Schultz camp, realistic offers were never given to the 26-year-old Stanford product. The Dallas Cowboys' 2 young tight ends, Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot, aren't surpassing Dalton Schultz anytime soon. Given the climate of the tight end positions on the Dallas Cowboys roster last March, the Dallas Cowboys didn't have many options available to them. With Blake Jarwin seriously injured and subsequently cut, Dallas would have been down their top 2 tight ends had they let Schultz escape. Given the importance of the position in the Kellen Moore offense, they had no choice but to tag Schultz. Even if they thought he was somewhat replicable part, lesser tight ends were getting paid much more so relative to the market. Schultz was actually well worth his tag amount. The Cowboys, knowing they had to prepare for the future, attacked the TE in the 2022 NFL draft. They added Jake Ferguson on day 3 and picked up undrafted free agent Peyton Hendershot immediately after. Needless to say, both players have far exceeded expectations as rookies this season, and both figure to have bright futures on the Dallas Cowboys moving forward. Together with the 25-year-old TE Sean McKeon, the two rookie tight ends have carved out significant roles on the Dallas Cowboys offense. Their presence has taken a chunk out of Dalton Schultz production, and even with his big 2-touchdown performance on Thursday, he's expected to fall well short of nearly all of his 2021 numbers. Despite that, Dalton Schultz is still fully entrenched as the TE1 on the Dallas Cowboys, and top Cowboys brass are likely very pleased they locked him for 2022. This was made glaringly apparent when one Dallas promising tight end, Hendershot, flipped a Dak Prescott pass up in the air for a moment-shifting interception. The botched play cost the Dallas Cowboys 3.5 expected points on a play that should have put Dallas well within scoring position. Dalton Schultz, on the other hand, showed the Cowboys what a seasoned veteran can do. With the Cowboys only up by 4, Schultz pulled up a perfect but difficult ball that took all 6'5" of him to snag. The catch showed how much Prescott trusted his 5-year veteran and Cowboys Nation, why proven veterans are valuable down the stretch. The Dallas Cowboys are in good hands at the TE position in the future, but that future is not quite now. The era of Ferguson and Hendershot will be there soon enough. For now, it's good to have a vet like Schultz leading the unit. And this is why I think veteran experience is so important, especially in NFL. You definitely need that guy that has a lot of experience and that has played in the NFL for some time now. And that is something that they definitely get when it comes to Schultz and what he's capable of doing. Now, he is a little bit on the market for being traded or maybe being let go in the offseason. However, right now, I think Schultz is still a perfect fit, and he would honestly do dividends for this Dallas Cowboys team moving forward, especially into the playoffs. Now, getting into the fourth story of today's video, Cowboys received great news after beating the Titans. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott appeared to have injured himself in the win over the Tennessee Titans. It put a scare in fans as the team took care of business in Nashville. Prescott, who has been more willing to use his leg in recent weeks, injured his lower body during a run on Thursday night. He played through the pain after limping the following play and even ran for a nice gain later. Other than winning the game, the Cowboys' biggest objective was staying healthy. The last thing you want is a major and minor injury sidelining a key player with the playoffs just around the corner. Fortunately, it appears that Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys avoided anything beyond the scare. Owner Jerry Jones stated that Prescott is in good shape and that it isn't anything to worry about. He's in good shape, Jones said on Friday. He might have hyperextended it a little bit. We were checking with the sideline and we knew he was going to be in good shape. However, in other positive news, Prescott has been able to put more stress on defenses by rolling out of pocket and even scrambling for first downs over the last few weeks. Therefore, it is great news that he won't be dealing with anything too significant moving forward. The long week after playing on a Thursday should only help with Prescott's recovery, especially if the Cowboys know their playoff fate following the Eagles game against the Saints. That would potentially buy the Cowboys another week of rest. Although the Cowboys would have certainly preferred playing in a meaningful game in Week 18 that has the NFC East crown on the line, Dallas is waiting to hear back on the extent of the injury that starting center Tyler Biadasz suffered in the win. In the meantime, the Cowboys have great news regarding Dak Prescott. So I think this is honestly huge, and speaking about Tyler, the Cowboys are hopeful that Tyler will be available for the playoff opener. The Cowboys will not have a starting center Tyler for the regular season finale at Washington next weekend with a high right ankle sprain. That's the bad news. The good news is the injury isn't serious enough to keep Biadasz out for an extended period of time. Team officials are hopeful Tyler can play in the playoffs next month. Tyler suffered the injury in the third quarter of Thursday night's victory over Tennessee when he was rolled up on during a running play. Tyler left Nissan Stadium in a walking boot, and with Tyler out, the Cowboys made a series of moves along the offensive line. Connor McGovern moved from left guard to center, Tyler Smith moved from left tackle to left guard, and Jason Peters came off the bench to play left tackle. Whether this new reconfigured line will participate in Washington is to be determined. I think clearly, as we talked on a number of occasions, we've been working all of these different combinations for a reason, Coach McCarthy said. That's the realm we're in. We're not just playing with 5, that's been our challenge. I think the way we ended the game worked out well for us, so we'll look at that starting point. But we've got to make sure we've got 8 offensive linemen ready to go for Washington. The last time McGovern played center full-time was his junior season at Penn State in 2018. That season he made 13 starts with 12 at right guard and 1 at center. In 2017, McGovern started all 13 games at center. Now he's going to be the starting center in the last regular season game and quite possibly into the playoffs depending on Beard's health. McGovern said he gets 4 to 5 plays in practice at center during the week, which also includes the walkthrough practices. I felt in game he kept us on time, and that's a big part of going in that position. McCarthy said McGovern, the obvious exchanges and everything were clean and seemed like the declarations were clean, so we'll take a hard look at it at staff. The other move with the line involved Peters, the 19-year veteran who has signed during the season to provide depth. There was some concerns whether Peter could carry a full complement snaps. He played 19 snaps against the Titans after Tyler went down. Peters twice played in 21 snaps, including week 4 against the Washington and week 15 at Jacksonville. I think he's ready to go a full game, McCarthy said of Peters. I think the way he's come in here, he's been very conscientious about workload capacity, even during the course of the practice week. He's an old school pro. And like we bring back time and time again, veteran experience continues to help this Dallas Cowboys team, and it will continue to help them, especially in the playoffs. After struggling earlier in the campaign, this third-year receiver has looked like a true wide receiver one in recent weeks, and that is CeeDee Lamb. He entered Thursday's night action having caught a 17 of 18 targets for 246 yards and 2 touchdowns over the past 2 games. Dallas needs Lamb to continue playing at this level if it's going to go far in the NFL playoffs. Taking on a bad Titans secondary in week 17, that's exactly what the Oklahoma product did by hauling in 11 of 14 targets for 101 yards. He also drew multiple pass interference and holding penalties that extended drives. With Dak Prescott struggling to an extent over the past several weeks, he honed in on Lamb big time, and that included the veteran posting a 102.9 QB rating when targeting his top guy heading onto week 17. So things didn't change in Nashville. Now, their last game is against Washington Commanders, and I think this is going to be a huge game because the Dallas Cowboys definitely need to win this if they want to top out in the NFC. So I think this is really important for the Dallas Cowboys to finish off strong and have everyone from Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and all others playing at the highest level possible, because they could honestly get this win and have an easier fight in the playoffs. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace.